All right. First and foremost, I want to start off by saying Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, Great Millstone, who ruled well and who taught me this truth. And shalom to you, sincere Akim, out there listening, learning, and pushing this truth. And shalom to the few sincere Akwath that are out there listening and learning as well. With that being said, I'm going to jump straight into this video. I don't want to ratazah, it'll be edifying. As usual, I'm going to go into Rakah Kwadash. And it's going to be real quick, right? No, well, it should be quick, not too long. I really just wanted to go into the meaning of the word Adam, right? Because we know we mentioned it at camp, and I was just going through it again, just rereading and rereading, studying the hey, matter of fact, let me start with this. This is me and the brother was talking about it the other day. 2 Timothy 2:15. It says, "Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." And that's what we do. The starting with the apostles on down, the teachers, the servants, the prophets. That's what we do. We constantly go through the scriptures, and we want to make sure we get it right. We don't want to add or take away from the scriptures. And again, we're workmen. We're likened unto the Lord's husbandry. We're laboring. We're laboring in this truth to bring you this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, and that's a daily process. You know, as Elder Apostle Gabar likes to say, repetition is the father of skill. So we know things, we read it, but it's good to go back and reread and you know, just to make sure that you know what you're talking about and you're not breaking things down wrong. All right. So this came up at camp. Adam. I mentioned how Adam goes back to the Hebrew word Adama, and I mentioned how Adam came from the ground, from the soil, from the dust, right? And I referenced that in regards to how Esau, but prior to, well, Cain was the first so-called red man. That was the curse that Yahweh put on Cain for killing his brother Abel. He took his pigment from him, okay? You know? And the same spirit that was on the serpent, the same spirit that was on Cain, that's the same spirit that's on Esau Edom, you know? And I mentioned that all the nations were dark prior to Esau Edom, okay? Because you remember Cain, everybody died after the flood, all right? Noah, his wife, his three sons and their wives, and we all came from Noah, okay? Because after, during the flood, everyone died. But the point of the matter is all the nations I mentioned were dark, starting with Adam, because Adam came from the dust, from the ground, all right? And I'm gonna, matter of fact, we'll hit it. It says a quick Google search. It said, "What does Adam mean?" And I put in the Hebrew, and it says off of Wikipedia. It says comes Adam. Basically, Adam comes from the Hebrew word Adama, which we know, which means earth or soil. All right, that's the main point. All right, which when you Google an image of the soil, it's dark. It's dark brown, and that's what we are. We're not black. Okay, we're different shades of brown. Moses was brown. You know, I mentioned Miriam. I mentioned all these examples of so-called colored dark people. All right, the rich soil is dark. Is a dark brown. We're different shades of brown. We're not black. Just as Esau Edom is not white. He's different shades of red, pink, because he lacks pigment, melanin. Okay, therefore his blood showeth through under his skin. All right. But I say all this because doing my due diligence, I went into the I went into the scriptures, right? I went into the blue letter to see what they were gonna say in regards to Adam. And man, Esau Edom truly is a goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. Devil goes back to the word Diablo, meaning deceiver. He's a goddamn deceiver, and he's a liar. Okay, you're gonna see what they say about Adam, what Adam means, right? when a quick Google search shows you that Adam, um, means from the soil, the ground, the earth. Okay. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna show you real quick, and then I'll hit the scriptures. I don't want to ratazah. It'll come together. You know. I want to hit the first part where Adam was mentioned. Salaki, I gotta run through. I forgot exactly. I read the whole thing. I'll run through it, but Salaki, bear with me. I believe it's here in verse 20. 19? Okay, it's 19. But when you look up Adam, right? Um, in the blue letter, look at what it says. This damn devil, goddamn deceiver. Look at what it says when you look up Adam. Where was it? Was it here? Matter of fact, this is Adam, right? It says man, mankind, but when I went to the root word, of Adam, right? It says what? To be red, ruddy. You see? See how he's a damn deceiver? See how you know what I'm saying? And that's why Elder Apostle Tahar always says the blue letter goes off, but you got to have the spirit to discern when it goes off. You see? So when you go to the root word of Adam, right, it's saying that Adam means to be red, you see? Ruddy, reddened. And that's a goddamn lie, man. It's a bold-faced lie. You see? You see? But let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Salakia. Matter of fact, we could do that again. Again, I went to soil, right? The ground. Went to images, and you can see it's dark brown, man. Okay? And that's because we come from the ground. So let's hit some scriptures. Matter of fact, let's start with Genesis. Let's go to Genesis, matter of fact. And then we'll come back. Let's go back. This is Genesis chapter 2. I'm going to run through it. I'll start at 1. Genesis 2 and 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day Yahweh ended his work which he made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Yahweh blessed the seventh day and sanctified it. It's the Sabbath. But the Sabbath, again, comes in based upon a new moon. Okay? So anyway, it says, and Yahweh blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Yahweh created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that the Lord Yahweh power made the earth and the heavens. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, for the Lord Yahweh power had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. And we mention this all the time, that prior to the flood, it never rained. That's why when Noah was telling them that a flood was coming, that water was going to come from the ground, from the sky, they mocked him, they laughed, they didn't believe. Because what does it say in verse 6? But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. So every morning the dew of the earth watered the plants. All right? There was no water, there was no such thing as rain prior to the flood. Just a quick note. That's why I wanted to start at the top. Well, let's keep going. It says, and the Lord Yahweh power formed man of the dust of the ground, as it said in when I went to the Wikipedia, when a quick Google search. It says that Adam again comes from the Hebrew word Adama, which means earth or soil. Okay, you see. And then it says Adem, which that's wrong. It's Adama. According to the Bible, the personal name of Adam derives from the noun Adama, meaning the ground or the earth, because that's where he was formed from. All right, and again, I showed you the earth, the soil is brown, different shades of brown. Rich soil is dark brown, very dark brown. Okay, all right. So it says, verse 7, Genesis 2 and 7, and the Lord Yahweh formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Because there were other men on the earth, but Yahweh Bashem Yahushai put his laws, statutes, and commandments in Adam. Okay, it wasn't the laws, statutes, and commandments weren't written in stone yet, but it was oral. Okay, That's why Cain and Abel knew how to give a proper sacrifice. They understood that Yahweh, God power, required a blood sacrifice. All right, because Adam, their father, had knew the laws. Okay, you know. So anyway, it says, and the Lord Yahweh planted a garden eastward in Eden. Eden means paradise, because the whole world was a paradise. But again, it says, and the Lord Yahweh planted a garden eastward in Eden, right? And that's the land of Palestine, the land of Canaan, right? Right? Um, that's where the Garden of Eden was, right? But we were remember after Adam sinned, following behind Eve, they were kicked out of the garden, and then we went back during the time of Moses after we came out of Egypt. All right? But at the time, the whole earth was a paradise. It says, and the Lord Yahweh planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord Yahweh power to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Jump down. I think that was the point. Uh, but the point was basically back in I don't want to make this too long. The point was that Adam was made from the dust of the ground. Where was that at? Verse 7. And the Lord Yahweh formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. So that's where, going back to Wikipedia. Okay, so I don't know how the hell this devil, which I know how, right? We're gonna get the scriptures. He's a goddamn devil and a liar and a deceiver. Okay, you know, he's gonna say Adam means fucking red, you know, ruddy. That's a goddamn lie, man. Okay, it says, and formed the Lord Yahweh. Let me read it. Genesis 2:19, and out of the ground the Lord Yahweh power formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And then, like I said, when we look up Adam in the blue letter, which Elder Apostle Tahar always says, the blue letter goes off sometimes. So you got to be able to discern when it's going off. And that's why I started out with 2 Timothy. You got to study, man. Study. And you got to constantly you got to be on point, man. You got to be circumspect. You got to reread. You got to give diligence. You got to labor, because this man is a devil. He's a deceiver. He's cunning, man. And he deceives you with his words, So again, when we go to the Strong's H120, Adam, which should be Adama, right? It says man, mankind, man, human being, right? Adam, first man. But when we go to the root word of it, which is a lie, it says to be red, ruddy. That's a lie. That's a lie. To look red, that's a lie. That's a lie. A bold-faced lie. That's why we call this man the devil. And that's pretty much the point. That's the point. Again, Adam came from the ground. The ground is different shades of brown. Look how rich a rich soil. Look how dark it is. Dark brown. That's why we're not black. Okay, we're different shades of brown. Okay, you see. But that's this devil being deceitful. But that's his job. Okay. So I'm gonna hit a couple scriptures and close out. That was the point. I don't want to OD with it. All right. So this is Second Corinthians 11:14, and no marvel for Satan. And we know this is talking about the not the physical, not the spiritual demon Satan, but the physical incarnate of the spiritual demon Satan, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Satan means adversary. Esau Edom is the number one adversary of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. He's the only nation that blasphemed the Holy Scriptures. He painted his likeness and image as the Most High and the angels and the prophets. That's blasphemy of the Holy Scriptures. Okay, but yet he calls himself a God-fearing nation. In God we trust. He's the hypocritical nation that applied to us at one time. But now Esau Edom is in the power seat. It applies to him. So this is 2 Corinthians 11:14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. And that's what Christianity is all about. White supremacy. Okay? White supremacy. This is Psalms 55 and 21. Matter of fact, um, I'll start at Psalms 55 and 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Esau, Edom. That's why the Lord has a perpetual hatred against him, because of the violence he has against his brother Jacob. That perpetual hatred that he has against his brother Jacob. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to recompense him, for touching the apple of the Lord's eye, and for blaspheming the holy scriptures, man. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth, this is the main point, the word, that's how this devil gets down. His words, his unrighteous decrees, his legislation, his words, man, his new speech, you know. He put a covering cast over the world, man. That's why you got to give diligence, you got to search, you got to look things up, The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but Satan transformed himself into an angel of light, The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war it was in his heart. Because really, he's about cutting off Yasharallah. Psalms 83. And all these heathens are confederate with him, man. That's why they're all going to go down. Okay? So again, it says, the words of his mouth, the main point, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. You see? And that's this devil. You got to watch this devil. Okay, he's a goddamn liar. Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Just like I said, Cain. Cain was the first murderer and the first liar. He murdered his brother Abel, and then he lied to the Lord. When the Lord asked him, where's his brother Abel, what did he say? Am I my brother's keeper? He's knowing he just murdered his brother. You see? It's a John 8 and 44. It's a year of your father the devil. Esau Edom. He's a goddamn devil. He's a deceiver. Diablo. And the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, Cain, because that's the same spirit. That old serpent from the garden, that old serpent, the spirit that was on Cain, the same spirit that's on Esau Edom and his descendants, man. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Prime example about Adam, you see? That's why the Lord is going to take vengeance on you goddamn devils. You're a bunch of hypocrites, okay? Deceivers. This is 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. It says, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. That's iconoclasm. That's Renaissance art. Okay? That's Esau Edom transforming himself as an angel of light, man. Defacing iconoclasm, defacing the true images of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and the servants, the prophets, and the angels. Okay? This is Job, he's the goddamn wicked. Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who is the wicked? Esau Edom, per Malachi. Did I grab that? Malachi 1 and 4. Esau Edom is the wicked. Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished. That was during the Dark Ages. He was in them goddamn caves, But he, during the Renaissance, he had a rebirth. That serpent was loose for 1,000 years. After 1,000 years, he got loose and went forth and deceived the nations, deceived the world. You see? First and foremost, by putting up his image as the Most High. You see? As righteousness, setting himself up as righteousness. And then what did he do when he got in the power seat? He transgressed the laws. He turned everything upside down. You see? He changed the everlasting covenant. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. That started with out of Spain, Christopher Columbus, Cristobal Colon, and then all the other Edomites followed suit. The Spaniards, then you had the French, the Portuguese, you had England, and America came out of England. You see, all Edomites, man, and they went around and they colonized the world, spread their Christianity by the force of the sword, beat their ways into you. They beat your heritage out of you, your identity out of you, and indoctrinated you. Put a covering cast over you. You see? You see? But the Lord said it's high time to wake up out of sleep. We had to fall away first. That already happened. But now what? That man of sin is being revealed. Esau, Edom. He's being revealed for the liar and deceiver and devil that he is. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them who? Esau, Edom. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh hath indignation forever. So the Lord hates Esau, Edom forever. All right? So this is Job 9:24 again. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, because we are the true judges. Yasharallah. All right? And he put himself up as a judge. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right? So let's see. I'm gonna close out here. This is Isaiah 34:5. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. That's that war in heaven. Michael and the archangels fighting against Esau, Edom, and these heathen nations that are going to stop fighting each other. During the third woe, they're going to stop fighting each other, team up together, and try to fight against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and the angels, man. You know? That's that great war, that great war in heaven, Because Yahweh Shai Hamashiach is coming back to take vengeance upon Esau, Edom, and these heathens, and 2/3 of our own people, Who is this that coming from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? Yahweh Shai Hamashiach is about to take vengeance on this goddamn devil, recompense him for all the wickedness he's been doing, The Lord's sword is what? Those missiles, them nukes, them ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and the laser beams off the chariots. You see? For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. Okay? Esau, Edom. Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Esau, Edom is the people of the Lord's curse. He is the wicked. He is the wicked. He's a liar. He's a deceiver. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai got a bone to pick with you, you goddamn devils, for touching the apple of the Lord's eye. He's about to recompense you swiftly. You about to drink double of this cup, man. Anyway, with that being said, man, keep pushing, keep fighting. We're close, man. Shalom. Wa abad babal. Kwam Nesharallah.